Hey, so I'm very into voice acting and all the work that goes into it. I always get a kick out of hearing a familiar voice and going on a search through their Wikipedia page or behind the voice actors to see what else they've been in. I've also gotten back into Hearthstone lately. The Cataclysm set intrigued me and it's drawn me back in. And yes, I am enjoying it. I'm not being forced or anything. But playing Hearthstone got me thinking. Why are the voices for so many of the characters so inconsistent? What I'm talking about is that a card for a character may have a very different voice from their actual voice from, say, World of Warcraft or any other media. Take Velen, for example. Since Warlords of Draenor, Velen has been voiced by David Shaughnessy, who has done some other roles in the game as well.
Not all who wander are lost.
However, in Hearthstone, Velen is instead voiced by Crispin Freeman, the voice actor behind Vindicator Maraud, Winston, Alucard, Male Wizard from Diablo 3, Jeremiah Gottwald, and so many more.
Not all who wander are lost.
But why exactly? Well, there could be various reasons, contracts, scheduling conflicts, or just a lack of interest, and there's obviously nothing wrong with that. Crispin has reprised his role for the Prophet and Moonblessed Velinskin.
It is time we forge our own fate. We must draw power from above.
Yet, for the Bronzeskin and the Leader of the Exiled card, he is instead voiced by James Horan, who also voices Gul'dan.
It's time we began. Our future awaits!
Yet, for his boss appearance in Book of Heroes, he is voiced by David again.
United in the light.
There's inconsistencies all around. But who else is inconsistent? Well, surprisingly, there's a lot. Let's take a look at Deathwing, for example. Since he's kind of a big deal in the newest expansion, and he's kind of a weird one with his voices. For example, since his voice debut in Cataclysm for WoW, he's been voiced by Michael Leon Woolley.
The hour of twilight is nigh. The sun sets on your pitiful, mortal existence.
However, in Hearthstone, his first card was voiced by Patrick Seitz, Garrosh's voice actor.
All will burn!
He reprised his role for the Dragon Lord card in Whispers.
Puny mortals!
However, come Descent of Dragons, and he's sounding very different.
Cataclysm!
Now, the wiki states that it's still Patrick voicing him, but it sounds like a lot like his newer voice actor, Isaac C. Singleton Jr., and it would make sense too, as the Deathwing hero skin also came with that expansion, also voiced by Isaac.
Come, embrace the chaos!
And a little extra weirdness, in Heroes of the Storm he's voiced by Amari Williams, who also voices Ridicron in WoW.
All life ends in death.
Now for someone that has a far more jarring difference, let's take a look at Malygos. In WoW, Malygos is voiced by Cam Clark, in which he sounds like a bit of a nerd.
Few have experienced the pain I will now inflict upon you.
However, in Hearthstone, since the beginning, this is what he sounds like.
I am the essence of magic!
Yep, it's Isaac again. I don't understand why it's such a huge difference. And to this day, Isaac still voices him in every appearance he's made.
So be it. I am the Spell Weaver. Fly as one. I am without limits.
Which is so bizarre, because for his very brief return in Dragonflight, I'm pretty sure they got Cam back to voice him.
I remember you. I am so sorry, Malygos. My burden should not be yours to bear.
I'm not too sure, though. He sounds more gravelly than before, but it's pretty close to him. And it's also weird because the other aspects still have their original voice actors. Except Nosdormo, actually, since Titans Onward, he's been voiced by Harry Myers, replacing an unknown actor who voiced his other cards and original appearance in WoW.
Just in time.
All that matters is this moment.
Now, getting a different actor to play a role that's already been played isn't the most uncommon thing, as several characters have been given new actors for, more than one reason. In fact, some actors have more or less taken on the role of just being the new voice for the character. Take Rexar, for example. Originally in his debut in Warcraft 3 The Frozen Throne, he was voiced by well-known voice actor Steve Bloom.
I hear the call of the wild. For the Mok'Nathal!
However, since Hearthstone's launch, Matthew Mercer instead voices him, and since Warlords has been the voice for Rexxar and WoW as well.
Let the hunt begin!
The only time Steve came back to voice Rexxar was his appearance in Heroes of the Storm, which, makes sense considering the playstyle is very similar to Warcraft 3, so I guess they wanted to go all nostalgic with him, which is cool.
What I do in my off time is my own business.
Now, Matt, I don't gotta explain what Matt's done. Mercer himself is quite prominent in Hearthstone as well, voicing quite a lot of cards, and as of Blackrock Mountain, voices both Ragnaros and Nefarian, replacing the role of Chris Metzen, voice of Thrall and longtime Blizzard employee, being the creative director for over 22 years.
By fire, be purged! Your magic is mine!
Speaking of which, Metzen retired in late 2016 but returned in early 2023. During that time, Hearthstone released the Book of Heroes, solo adventures which pitted the default heroes against bosses from their backstory. For Jaina's and Anduin's book, you face off against Thrall and Varian respectively. However, they weren't voiced by Metzen, due to his retirement. Thus resulted in them sounding very different.
Elements guide me!
It's time I saw to your training, my son.
This was in fact Kellen Goff, known for his work as Diavolo from JoJo's, Freddy in the FNAF series, and Fiddlesticks from League of Legends. Also, speaking of which, with Anduin, I actually rediscovered this recently, in Hearthstone, Anduin is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, whereas in WoW, he is voiced instead by Josh Keaton.
The light shall bring victory.
Stormwind honors your service to the Alliance.
This is an odd choice as well, considering Josh's role as Anduin started with Mists of Pandaria, and the release dates of both Hearthstone and the expansion for WoW weren't even released that far apart. Granted, yes, developments and betas and all that add extra time and other things happen, and still, Yuri still voices him in Hearthstone while Josh still voices him in WoW. I was surprised to see that Josh doesn't apparently have a single credited role in Hearthstone yet, so yeah, a little extra weirdness there. Now, that's pretty much all the big changes and differences I wanted to go over, so I'm going to list off some more different voices for various characters. As mentioned before, Gul'dan is voiced by James Horan, whereas in WoW and Heroes of the Storm, he's instead voiced by Troy Baker.
Your soul shall be mine! Your soul shall be mine!
Sally Whitemane, in both Heroes of the Storm and Legion Onwards, is voiced by Erica Lindbeck. Yet, despite the wiki stating she also plays her in Hearthstone, is played by someone that I cannot identify, and is 100% not Erica.
Arise, my champions!
Arise, my champion!
Yogg-Saron, specifically his Master of Fate card, is voiced by Darren DePaul. In all other appearances, he is instead voiced by Jameson Price, same as in WoW. Again, the wiki states that Darren also voices his Hope's End card, but I'm pretty sure that's Jameson.
I am destiny. Death is eternal. Madness will consume you!
Kael'thas was originally voiced by Quinton Flynn, as he does in Warcraft 3 and WoW. However, following some controversies, he was replaced, and a new voice actor redoing all of his lines, both in Hearthstone and WoW, even replacing his original lines from Burning Crusade. But who is voicing him now? I don't know. Nobody tells me anything.
Energy. Power. My people are addicted to it. Energy. Power. My people are addicted to it.
Illyria, being one of the first hero skins, was voiced by Michelle Morrow. However, following her return in Legion, she is instead voiced by Mara Junot, who reprises her in every appearance since March of the Lich King.
Tremble before the might of the elves. Sisters, my instinct shall hunt down our enemies.
Tyrion's card has a different voice actor, as opposed to Floyd Van Buskirk voicing him in every other appearance as he does in WoW. I think he sounds a little bit like Matthew Mercer, maybe Crispin Freeman, I'm not too sure.
Put your faith in the light!
Put your faith in the light!
Leroy Jenkins, as a card, I don't know, but as a hero skin, he is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, instead of Ben Schultz, that guy that played Leroy in the original video, who actually voiced his appearance in Warlords of Draenor, even using what I can assume is his original mic from way back when, according to the quality.
Time's up. Let's do this.
Time's almost up.
Yep, I will cook this completely not rotted chicken that I have in my bag. You all just go ahead and devise the perfect plan.
I'm sure there are more that I've missed, some that I've forgotten, but that's all I want to talk about for now. In the end, there's nothing inherently wrong with characters having different voice actors. Through many different projects, some will stay around, others will leave. That's just how the industry works. But why exactly is it like this for Hearthstone and WoW specifically? Both the games are made by the same company, so surely they can just ask the VA to do a few lines. Literally, it's like 2 to 5 lines at best. And while we don't have an answer, and likely won't ever get an answer, NDAs and all that, we can simply assume that with different teams comes different opinions and views as to how characters should sound. While a voice may work in WoW, it may not work out in Hearthstone. Or maybe the VA just doesn't want to do it. Who knows, really? But I'm not putting anybody down. No, all the voice work that goes into these games are fantastic, and have spawned so many memorable quotes that I still quote to this day. And I may have some gripes with some voices and choices. But at the end of the day, all the voices put together have made a wonderful experience for myself and everyone that plays these games. Gaming would not be the same without the fantastic actors that put their heart and soul into these roles. So, because I don't know how else to end the video, I'm just gonna say, fuck AI and any voice replications out there. You can never get that shit to replace real actors. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys for whatever's next.
Mistake. Impossible. I concede.